Never thought I would see the day where this cult classic would come back, especially given the allegations that came out in 2020 on Josh Wheaton. Let's get into what is happening, what is going on with this situation here. Now, there's a lot of cult classics, I would say, but nothing like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all right? First of all, back in the day, you could watch it on UPN or the WB. You could see reruns of it all the time. I mean, it was very hard to miss an episode. Very available for a lot of us that were growing up at the time, right? So this is definitely something that I know myself and others are looking forward to. However, now let me just say this, okay? I was a little worried when I heard in the news because of the allegations regarding Josh Wheaton. Like, what is his role going to be in all of this? Well, let me tell you guys, none. The allegations really start coming about in 2020, around the time that the Justice League was happening. Ray Fisher came forward and basically accused Wheaton of being gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable behavior while they were filming the 2017 film of the Justice League. Okay. Now, so in 2020, when this statement was released on Twitter, he went back in there and tweeted, "I'd like to take a moment to forcefully redact every bit of this statement."
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up for him.
Still got some more time. What's your name and question? Hello. How's it going, guys?
These allegations were pretty huge. And then when Ray Fisher spoke out, Charisma Carpenter also spoke out in support of Ray Fisher. She spoke out against Josh Wheaton and basically said he manipulatively weaponized my womanhood and faith against me. She added that Wheaton's alleged behaviors had triggered a chronic physical condition from which I will suffer, she says. And I mean, she made a pretty lengthy statement also on Twitter and basically really outlining all the crap that she had went through. At 6 months pregnant, I was asked to report to work at 1 a.m. after my doctor recommended shortening my work hours due to long physical and demanding days and the emotional stress of having to defend my needs as a working pregnant woman. I began to experience Braxton Hicks contractions. It was clear to me that at 1 a.m. call was retaliatory. She says, back then I felt powerless and alone with no other option. I swallowed the mistreatment and carried on. After all, I had a baby on the way and I was the primary breadwinner of my growing family. Unfortunately, all this was happening during one of the most wonderful times in new motherhood. All that promise and joy sucked out, and Josh was the vampire. Ooh. Now, if you guys remember Charisma Carpenter, she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then went to work on Angel, which Wheaton had his hands on both. Michelle Trachtenberg also spoke out and made allegations against Joss Wheaton.
Thank you, Sarah Michelle Gellar, for saying this. I am brave enough now as a 35-year-old woman to repost this, because this must be known. As a teenager with his not appropriate behavior, very not appropriate. Trachtenberg has since updated that statement, adding, so now people know what Joss did. The last comment I will say on this was there was a rule saying he's not allowed to be in a room alone with Michelle again.
She was younger around that time, right? She was a lot younger in that set. So definitely kind of made you wonder, like, what was that all about? What was the dynamic? And Sarah Michelle Gellar came out in support of everybody that spoke out, right? Around that time, which I'm glad that she did, given that she's like this main character. It's so interesting how a man that, you know, is producing and writing and doing all this stuff is working behind these powerful female characters, because let me tell you what made Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because she was so badass. I mean, she really was. Although I didn't quite care for the choice of men, because I think I would have picked Angel over, Spike any day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, she doesn't end up with either character. But I'm just saying, if I had, let me know what y'all think. If you had to pick somebody for Buffy, even though she didn't end up with either one of them, okay, who would you pick? Angel or Spike? Anyways, back to the program. Been rumors for quite some time that there would be like a reboot, and I guess it has been officially confirmed that there is going to be a reboot. Well, one of the questions that people had is what's Wheaton's role going to be at this point? Like, what is he going to do? Well, I'm happy to announce that he's not going to have a role. Buffy the Vampire Slayer creator Joss Whedon reportedly had no involvement in the upcoming reboot. And this is by Matthew Rodriguez in an article. And because I know that was going to be we knew that this was going to be the $1 million question, okay? And it is being said. Welcome back to the Hellmouth. More than 20 years after it finished its initial network TV run, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is almost to return for a reboot series at Hulu, according to Deadline. The reboot will see star Sarah Michelle Gellar return in the titular. Though the series has not yet been set to order, Deadline reports that Hulu is assembling a writer's room for the potential reboot, indicating that there is a high probability that it could be ordered for a full season. According to Deadline, a return for much of the cast is considered likely. The show will bring back much of its original executive producers. So the series creator Joss Whedon is not involved in the reboot, and Deadline reports that he has not worked in an official capacity in Hollywood since 2021, when actors on Whedon's project came forward with allegations of misconduct against him. Gellar would appear in the series in a recurring role, but would not lead the series, according to a report in Variety. This is going to be interesting because Sarah Michelle Gellar has always been kind of like the lead here. Despite Buffy being a cult hit, reactions are mixed concerning the reboot. Some social media users pointed out to the potential of a more diverse mix of Slayers, this time around including trans Slayers and more Slayers of color. Ooh, okay. If they reboot Buffy, I don't want 6 episodes on a streaming service. Give me 23 episodes on CW with cheesy prosthetics, low-budget special effects, and up-and-coming brands playing the bronze. This is what a writer told on X. I mean, Buffy was beloved by queer viewers for several reasons, not the least of which was that it featured several LGBTQ plus characters in its rosters, including Buffy's best friend, Willow Rosenberg, played by Allison Hannigan, as well as Willow's girlfriend, Tara McClay, played by Amber Benson. Buffy also featured the very first lesbian scene kiss on Prime Network television in the 7th season episodes Touched, which aired in 2003. There will be no Wheaton, okay? But I do wonder about this reboot, right? Like, are you guys willing to watch it? What do you think? Are y'all nervous about it? What does this mean? Sunnyvale was like swallowed. And what about Nicholas Brandon's character, y'all? Because I do wonder about him. Like, I know he had his set of issues and whatnot. Is he going to be part of the reboot? Nicholas Brandon went on his Facebook and was asking fans on a question, would you watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot? Listen.
Hi, J-Man. Hey, Nikki. How are you doing? I'm doing all right, brother. Sounds like you're in a hurricane. It's not hurricane, but it's definitely windy. And it just came, like right as I was making the fire. Let's see. Hi from England. Just wanted you to know that my son. Thank you. I love. It's like I've come to kind of realize that there are a lot of Xanders named after my character. Doesn't mean that I was their favorite character. It's just that no one's gonna name their child Spike. I'll call Coop and say, hey buddy, you busy? Feel like doing a reboot? But you have to understand too is that like my paralysis and stuff on my right leg, like it's never gonna get better. So it's like I'm gonna always walk the cane. So it's like
I mean, would he be able to participate in a reboot given that clearly he's got some medical ailments going on? And guys, the sound is on his end. He's like in a windy area. I'm not really sure, but like I said, he's got a very active Facebook page that people can go listen to. The 90 Kids and Us are freaking exciting. It would be a pleasure to see how you're doing. Just crazy to interact with someone you watched daily. Take care, Nicholas Brandon. It's interesting because it's like, would the younger generation have, and I know they wouldn't, because this is how it is. They don't have an appreciation for these kind of shows because they're a lot more advanced, I think.
Like doing a full-time show would be like a real challenge for me. I love Toronto. Just it'll bring you a smile, right? I think it's actually named after your character. He played the role of attorney Jenner too. That's a lot of things. It's kind of like Hugh Laurie's character in whatever that doctor show he did. He's like a pill bumper and he was sober, so it's kind of like he kicked the booze, but not the pills.
So he's pitching. So, and I'm not showing you this whole thing, guys, because the sound is horrible wherever he's at. Sounds like he's been pitching kind of I guess storyline ideas and whatnot. But he's a bit all over the place too. And I mean, I'm hoping that he's doing okay. I hope he's okay.
So, what do you say? I'll tell you guys about it. Let's see. Well, they filmed in the UK. I don't think it's a Hulu show. I mean, I don't. It just depends on what the locations are. And so they put a lot more money into the pilot episode than they will into the. And also, I mean, Xander essentially was Joss. I mean, obviously, I have a loyalty and an affinity for the man. Let's see.
So here he basically says that he has a loyalty to Josh. Like I said, I'm only playing bits and pieces of this because it's very long, but to Wheaton. Okay, so maybe he's still very close friends with him. Kind of makes you wonder what this relationship looks like a little bit. I'm wondering about this. Huh. Okay. All right. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about the reboot? Will you be watching? Hey, what about Nicholas Brandon? What are your thoughts? And for those that are not familiar with Nicholas Brandon, he's had some struggles, and hopefully he's doing okay. I mean, it sounds like he might be, I don't know where he was located. It sounded like he needed to be there for surgeries and whatnot. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.